Welcome to Choodle Sketches by Sir Choobie, where faith is learned, understood, and deepened in simple ways. Let's get started.
Hello, friends. I'm Sir Choobie, and today we're diving into a powerful message that still speaks volumes decades later. In a world fractured by inequality, conflict, and the race for profit, we ask, what does true development look like? To answer that, we turn to an important document from the heart of the Catholic Church, Pope St. John Paul II's Sollicitudo Rei Socialis. Sollicitudo Rei Socialis, or On Social Concern, isn't just an old text. It's a sharp call to conscience, a moral compass for a globalized world, and a challenge to our comfortable ideas about progress. It was published on December 30th, 1987, by Pope St. John Paul II. It was written to commemorate the 20th anniversary of Populorum Progressio, Pope Paul VI's landmark encyclical on development. In the late 1980s, the world was deeply divided. The Cold War still loomed, the gap between rich and poor nations was growing, and development was being reduced to economic stats instead of human dignity. John Paul II saw a crisis, not just of poverty, but of solidarity. Sollicitudo Rei Socialis wasn't just a look back, it was a wake-up call. He wrote this for all people of goodwill, not just Catholics. It was aimed at leaders, policymakers, believers, and citizens across the globe, anyone willing to hear the truth and take responsibility for the common good. The central message of Sollicitudo Rei Socialis: real development is not just economic growth. It's the full flourishing of the human person in solidarity with others. Pope John Paul II doesn't just talk about the symptoms of underdevelopment. He exposes the structures of sin behind it: greed, indifference, the arms race, exploitation, and political ideologies that divide instead of unite. He challenges both East and West. Capitalist and communist systems alike come under fire for placing ideology above the person. Instead of just giving aid or chasing GDP, he calls for a moral conversion, a shift toward solidarity, where nations and individuals treat each other not as competitors, but as neighbors. All right, now that we've got the big picture, let's zero in. What are the key themes of Sollicitudo Rei Socialis? What ideas does Pope John Paul II really want to hammer home? These aren't just bullet points. They're building blocks for a different kind of world. Let's unpack the core concepts that give this encyclical its moral firepower and its ongoing relevance. First, authentic development. Development isn't just about skyscrapers, stock markets, or stronger economies. Pope John Paul II flips the script. Real development must be centered on the human person: body, mind, soul, and spirit. He's asking, are we growing in dignity? Are we free from fear, hunger, and humiliation? Development that forgets people isn't progress, it's just expansion. Second, solidarity. Solidarity isn't charity. It's not a pat on the head or a one-time donation. It's a firm and constant commitment to the common good, especially for the most vulnerable. It means seeing others not as strangers or statistics, but as sisters and brothers. In solidarity, your problem becomes our problem, and that's where real change starts. Third, structures of sin. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. John Paul II says the world isn't just broken by individual bad choices. It's shaped by systems of sin. That's where we need change. Think unjust trade, economic exploitation, corruption, arms trafficking. These aren't accidents. They're baked into the way things are run, and they need to be dismantled, not just patched up. Fourth, option for the poor. The church must stand with the marginalized. This isn't about favoritism. It's about priority. The poor must come first, not because they're more important, but because they're more vulnerable. True justice lifts from the bottom up. And the church isn't just called to help the poor. It's called to stand with them, to speak for them, and to fight alongside them. Fifth, global interdependence. Our world is more connected than ever, but interdependence without solidarity breeds domination, not cooperation. It's not enough to trade with each other or share technology. Without justice, cooperation becomes control. He urges nations to move from power games to mutual responsibility. Finally, he puts the spotlight on wealthier nations, responsibility of rich nations, and he doesn't sugarcoat it. They have a duty to help, not through pity, but through fairness. That means just trade, ethical investment, and dismantling systems that keep poor nations dependent and voiceless. Because if you benefit from a broken system, staying silent is a choice. So, why should Sollicitudo Rei Socialis matter to us today? Because the same questions are still on the table. Who benefits from our systems? Who gets left behind? What does it mean to love our neighbor, not just across the street, but across the world? Pope John Paul II gives us more than words. He gives us a moral roadmap, one that calls for courage, compassion, and above all, solidarity. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Sir Choobie, and I'll see you in the next episode, where we keep digging into the truths that challenge us to build a more just, more human world. Until then, peace and action.